Well, good afternoon. And new today, a U.S. defense official tells us that 15 years ago, the gunman joined the Army and only lasted for about 3 months in basic training when he was terminated. Terminated because, according to the U.S. official, there were mental health concerns that spilled into his basic training. So when you fast forward to today, more than 2 days after the attack in Allen, there are still dozens of people who are having their civic communion at the memorial site as we learn more about the victims.
He was the kindest and sweetest, most caring man you'd ever interact with.
Christian Lacour, a beloved 20-year-old Allen Mall security guard, and Aishwarya Tadikonda, a young engineer from McKinney, Texas, among the 8 victims killed on Saturday. And as the lives lost come into focus, so does the potential ideology and motive of the gunman who took them. Investigators believe the 33-year-old shooter killed by an Allen police officer may have been motivated by right-wing extremist views. A law enforcement source close to the investigation says the gunman wore an RWDS insignia, possibly meaning right-wing death squad, an insignia worn in recent years by members of various extremist groups, say legal experts.
It shouldn't be surprising to anyone that we're seeing that this shooter engaged in anti-Semitic or racist, white supremacist sort of posts in his social media.
Investigators are combing through the shooter's online profiles and items that may have been collected during weekend search warrants. Some neighbors seem surprised.
Nothing ever showed me any signs of, hey, this guy seems to be the kind of guy that, would do what he did.
I know that there are a lot of, let's say, early stories about the shooter out there. People should not jump to conclusions because there's a lot of conflicting information about him.
Governor Abbott urged patience in the wait for answers.
In the coming days, the public will be much better informed about why and how this happened.
So as we look back live at the memorial, when you go to the grounds of this makeshift memorial, there are so many who are still incredibly concerned about the people still being treated at the hospital. A local hospital system has 6 patients who are currently in the ER. 3 of them are in critical condition. That's the latest. Reporting live here in Allen, Texas, I'm Mike Valerio. Back to you.
What a senseless tragedy. Thank you so much, Mike Valerio. We've also just learned about 3 members of a Korean-American family who were also identified among the 8 victims. The Houston office of the South Korean consulate says 37-year-old Cho Kyu-song, 35-year-old Kang Shin-young, and one of their young sons were killed. This GoFundMe has been set up to support their 6-year-old son, who was also shot but is the only survivor of his family. More than $400,000 has been raised.